Hi everyone, greetings from National Skills Network. This is Madhuri and I'm very excited today to introduce all of you to a very new topic and something which women are taking up with lot of energy and enthusiasm. This is a profession which has been traditionally male dominated, but with Fronius, we can expect that women are going to break these career barriers and gender stereotypes and carve a new and exciting pathway for their careers in this particular field. So let me introduce all of you to Mr. Vishwanath Kamath, who is the Managing Director of Fronius India Limited. And with him today, we are going to engage in an exciting discussion on the recently concluded National Welding League for Women, which is about a competition which is at the national level. And this Women Welding League has become a very unique kind of a competition which has set new benchmarks in this particular field by making it inclusive and demonstrating that gender is not a barrier for any profession. So, sir, let me ask you straight away, what was the most memorable moment in this year's competition, which was recently concluded on Women's Day?
Thank you, Ms. Madhuri Dubey, for asking me this question and also inviting me for this discussion over a digital platform. It's a pleasure to interact with National Skills Network as always. Thank you for also being a part of our National Welding League. And it's a very, very special league which holds very close to our heart because this is the only league in India which bats for women in welding. So the memorable moment itself is that organizing this welding league for women. It itself is a very memorable event or the occasion. But I have some small things, but which have touched the heart because when I was traveling across the country, when this National Welding League was announced, I visited few colleges and I could see girls were welding with a lot of dedication. So then I asked them. They said they were not knowing who I am, so they were telling that there is a National Welding League which is happening in Bhubaneswar, and we are practicing for that. And then I asked when these girls came for training. They said they have been here from morning, and we had to really push them out in the evening because they compete against themselves, and they want to produce a very good weld quality. I mean, that really gave me a goosebumps because if this is a level of commitment from the women for welding, just by announcing a competition, you can imagine that what it can make, what it can do wonders when it really recognizes, when it really recognized by, let's say, government and the other bodies. So these are the small movements, and the dedication from these girls is the most happiest and memorable moment for me.
Okay, that's really nice to know, sir. And I can imagine because you have been organizing this for a few years now, and there must be so many such memorable moments. And thanks for sharing this one. And I was watching the video of one of the winners, Miss Annapurna, I think. Yeah, and it was so exciting to see that, her interest and her dedication, like you mentioned, and all the hard work that has gone in. So we see that now women are very open to taking up these new professions and demonstrating their skills, which also require a bit of a physical strength, mental strength, and it's a holistic kind of a skill, welding. So tell us a bit more about what do you see as career paths for women. Let's say they are interested to take up this program, and also with reference to the FAT program which Fronius organizes. For our viewers, I'll just elaborate it. FAT stands for the Fronius and Academia Centre for Skill Training. And through this initiative also, you're creating a lot of awareness and educating women. So where do you see this going in terms of career paths and workplace and other things related to welding?
So first thing first, and the good things first. So we have decided as Fronius to offer a fact training program for all the women participants who participated in National Welding League for Women. our cost at Pune. So
Okay.
today we have sent an invitation to all these girls, and it will be on a first come first serve basis, and it will be a 30-day program, extensive program in welding for these women who participated in the NWL. So this is a good news for them, and this will definitely improve their skill, and they can become a better welding professional. When you're talking about the career path for this women in welding, it does not matter whether it's women or men. There is a lot of career options for the people who want to take up welding as a career option. The first and foremost is definitely a welder who holds the welding torch or the welding holder and does the welding. This is also is the first option. The second option is the welding supervisor, is the person who supervises and who gives a direction for those people working under him. The third one is that welding engineer who decide the process for the particular fabrication, that what process to be used, and he would be working more with metallurgy and the mechanical properties of welding. The another option is that you can also become a trainer, because
Mhm.
this is one of the biggest skill gap what we have. So you can become a welding trainer also. And yeah, if you know welding, I think you can become also a shop floor in charge. If the whole shop is dominated where welding is a predominant process, and
Right.
you can also become the general manager of that particular company for manufacturing, and you can also become a sales professional because you know what the product can offer to your customers, because you have yourself experienced it, so you are the best person to pass on these benefits to your customer. You can also become a managing director. You can also be you can also jump the shores. You can be employed anywhere in the world. This is one of the process. Welding is shortage across the globe, so you can also train people from across the globe or can get employed. So there is a big way for people who want to take up welding. And I must tell, welding is one of the uh, reasonably well paid job in manufacturing a process. Of course, it comes with certain challenges. It comes with certain physical endurances which is required to take up this particular profession. But it's every profession is like that. Even it's a delivery boy, you have to travel in the hot sun and the busy traffic. So compared to
Yeah.
that, I think welding is definitely not that difficult. But yes, the more you put in efforts, the more chance of you earning more is definitely possible with welding.
Yeah, so this looks like from the way you have listed, almost all the professions that are open to men are also open to women. There's no discrimination or anything like that in this in terms of their career paths. Now, we would like to know more about how this entire idea started, the welding, the National Welding League, and also a bit about how has it helped in creating awareness and advocacy kind of steps that you have taken over the years, and do you see that there is an upward trend and more women are coming into in this field, and how what's your assessment of the scenario right now?
We always believe weld like a girl. We don't say that women can also do welding. I think there is a thought process behind this because it comes from our own experience.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Ms. Dubey, about our FACT program, as you are aware that we conducted two batches, exclusive girls batches
Right.
for welding, and our experience with these two batches were fantastic. I would say that women are much faster to learn welding than the boys. So this gave us a confidence, and their welding quality was equally, rather I would say, better than the welding quality done by the boys. So we say weld like a girl. So that's the first philosophy. And if a woman can be in the space, here we are talking about just a welding in the shop floor. So it's that it does not matter what gender you are. Number one. Number two, The biggest, with the idea of having National Welding League, because we wanted to celebrate International Women's Day, which falls on 8th March every year. We wanted to celebrate this in a unique way. So that's how this idea came up 5 years back, that we will have coinciding with National Women's Day with National Welding League for Women. So I am thankful to C.V. Raman College, C.V. Raman University, C.V. Raman Global University, Mr. Sanjeev Raut sir, who also supported me in making this event. And I think it took shape in 2019. We had to cut it off during COVID years. Apart from that, we have completed 5 edition of National Women Welding League. The advantage, what you can see, it was a very small program when we started, and this year we had 500 registration, and finally the event happened in Bhubaneswar with 130 participants from across the country with a lot of enthusiasm and stiff competition, very intense competition. This time we could see in both SMAW as well as GMAW category. And I am sure people who are active on social media from government also have a look on this, and maybe if with a little bit of government support, if we are able to conduct this on all India basis for women students from all the ITS across the country, I think our objective is met. And when it coming to what it can do, that's most important. It's not just a competition what we want to conduct. We want to conduct a competition, like I said. Now, after the competition, the people who have taken the part, whether they are won or not, does not matter. Fronius India is offering them a 30 days training program. And here we are planning to conduct them with the industry. And I'm sure this would be a perfect job opening for them. So, and with this way, we are able to get them into the manufacturing industry. I think a little bit of work is done from our side for the ever growing manufacturing in India, and also the gender equality in manufacturing by introducing women welders. So that's what is our plan. Next level is we also want to take it up that other 400 people who are registered but who could not take a part, we would also like to offer them the FACT program. So that's the second stage, and I would be very happy if all those 500 women get into manufacturing in manufacturing fraternity by choosing welding as a career option. I think this gives a great encouragement. If you look at IPL for women or the women cricket in India, what it was 10 years back, what it is today, I would correlate similar thing in for welding for women in India, and looking forward for them to live the World Cup shortly.
Yeah, I think that's always a possibility because we have seen how things keep changing when we put in dedicated effort. And it's very heartening to know, sir, that there is a better response every year. And also, you have seen how it has helped women in understanding welding, appreciating it, and also making a career choice out of it. And I'm sure with this, when this continues, other stakeholders like government organizations and others will definitely get more interested, and I'm sure there could be more positive response coming from these sectors as well. Now, to know more about your partnerships, and also I think American Welding Society and other institutions were partners. We can inform our audience also about the kind of education that is there in welding. So connecting it with just the competition is just a beginning, as you said. But I'm not sure if many people know that there are women who are doing higher education in welding. So could you tell us a bit more on this?
Our partnership with American Welding Society is more of a value driven and more of a technology partner driven, because they are the certifying body, and they were kind enough to support us in this initiative this year.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that they also took part in the event which happened in Bhubaneswar. And a big thanks to C.V. Raman Global University, uh, who encouraged us with the idea of having a national women welding league in Bhubaneswar. It's not easy to organize the logistics for this participants who coming from across the country to ensure that they are well taken care, and also to organize all the personal protection equipment for conducting the competition, and ensuring that a very fair process is uh, um, very process is adopted to
Yeah.
ensure to decide the winners. But I would say that what was important, or what is important, is not a competition. The important is that the girls who are from nook and corner of this country, taking a train and traveling thousands of kilometers to take a participation in the field of welding, and that's more important. I think if I would say that 90% of the job is done because they have taken up the torch, they have taken up the holder, they have welded. And I'm
Yeah.
very sure once you weld it, you will fall in love with field of welding, and I'm sure they would be our future leaders in the field of welding.
Yeah, that's really very heartening to know, sir. So now, considering that this event was a very successful one, do you already have some plans for the next edition, or where do you foresee this to go in the next 1 year?
Yeah, next edition would be definitely be even bigger than this. It would be grand. We would like to have, like I said, I'm sure this will catch an attention of people who are with in power, and with their support, and also with the private industry support. Like, I must tell you that we also had a support from MPP Technologies from Bangalore. We also had a support of Rolex Machinery from Pune. They also sponsored the prize amount. This time we had a bigger prize. We had a 50,000 as a first prize in each category. And next year we would definitely would like to increase it with a better support from the various private companies, as well as people from government. And next year we would be doing a little bit decentralized, and we will conduct decentralized competition at our various solution and skill centers spread across the country. We have 11 solution and skill center across the country. That's one Fronius, one solution and skill center, and we would like to have the final to be conducted in our solution and skill center in Pune. That's the plan. And yeah, it's our duty to make people aware of this. It's our duty to get more traction. It is our duty to get people to this particular competition who are in power. So I would also seek your support in getting relevant people, and let's do this together in a much bigger way. Why only 100 girls? Why not 1,000 girls participating in this? So this is the plan.
Sure, sir. I think we should start planning immediately for the next year also, and do it brick by brick, so that we make it more inclusive and create more awareness consistently over a period of time. And we would be really very happy to work closely with the team again, as we did this year. Sir, before we close this, is there any advice that you want to give very briefly, for women? Of course, you have told us quite a few important things, but is there something like a summary of few important points that you would like to share with women who would want to probably try this out or even build a career?
Yeah, my advice, not advice, I would say that by request, because advice is a big word uh, for this Gen Z. I would say that my request to them is, please try welding. It's a wonderful field, and we require more of you rather than you require welding. Welding requires you. That's my request, and you will not regret if you take up welding as a career option. It only keeps you growing, not only in terms of financially, it also keeps you growing in terms of your learning appetite. Because welding is one field which is never ending. Every day you come across new challenges because of the new age materials, new age processes, new age of joining. Customer wants more, so it always keeps you challenged. So it's a field you must try, and you won't be disappointed.
Well, that was a very nice, inspiring, positive note, sir. So, on that note, I wish to thank you for joining us today and telling us more about the recent competitions. And we would be very excited, and it's quite thrilling to support you throughout and make a beginning for the next year immediately. Thanks again.
Thank you very much for supporting us this time, and we really look forward with your support to have a much bigger and grander version of National Welding League for Women 2027. Till
Thank
then,
you.
thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you, sir.